Now, let's bring you up to date with a story that we've started monitoring here on Outside Source. It's two sisters who have fled Saudi Arabia and they're now hiding in Turkey, where they are trying to claim asylum in another country, in a third country. This is Dua and Dalal, who have mounted a Twitter campaign describing their ordeals in Saudi Arabia and how they're now hiding from their father in Turkey. This is Dua Dalal talking about what they've experienced, how they weren't allowed to complete their university studies, how they were beaten, insulted, how they were trying to go through arranged marriages with extremist clerics, is how they describe them. They say that previous accounts that they'd set up via social media were actually suspended. We've been told by a person who is familiar with the family that actually those accounts were suspended in how they describe in error, somebody who did not want to be named. Twitter has actually overturned this particular decision and has apologised. Well, here's one of the sisters, Dalal, who's making an appeal via Twitter.
We escaped for our life. We did it voluntarily and so that we can be free. This is the first time in our lives that we are doing what we want to do. But we urgently need help to save us from being sent back to Saudi Arabia. We are appealing to any free country to grant us asylum as soon as possible. If the Turkish police hand us over to our father, we will disappear forever. Please help us.
So Dalal, they're making that appeal. Now, the group Detained in Dubai has been helping Dua and Dalal get asylum abroad. Earlier, I spoke to the head of the group, Radha Stirling, about this particular case.
They've put out a statement that's described what they have fled from in Saudi, but ultimately it's come down to abuse that they've suffered, as well as a general oppression and violation of their human rights. So when they were on a holiday in Turkey with their father, they managed to leave him and have sought asylum through the United Nations, which they've now been granted.
So how is this asylum request going? What's the next stage then?
Now that they have official United Nations status, the next stage is to find a country that's willing to take them. In their particular circumstances, the United Nations and also the lawyers working on this case don't feel that she would be safe long-term in Turkey. So they're looking for another country to step in and take her on board. The girls do not have their passports anymore, so they can't simply get on a plane and arrive somewhere and seek asylum on the spot. They actually need a third country to come in, like Canada did with Radha Mohammed, and offer them asylum and arrange for their travel to that country.
I wanted to talk to you about Radha Mohammed. Of course, there have been numerous now cases of women leaving and going and finding asylum in other countries. Has that given these two women, these two sisters, the momentum, the inspiration to do this?
I think ever since the highly published case of Sheikha Latifah, we have seen more and more women coming forward with their asylum requests, and it could be the fact that they've been inspired by Sheikha Latifah and Radha Mohammed. And then there was recently another woman from the Emirates, Hind al-Baluki, who also fled abuse, and she's now safe with asylum in Germany. So I think that because of social media and because of the press interest in this particular topic worldwide at the moment, I think that does inspire more and more women to actually make that leap and hope for the best, because obviously it's a huge risk to take, and women are not going to put themselves in such a almost life or death situation unless they're fleeing something very serious.
That was Radha Stirling from the group Detained in Dubai. The case of Dua and Dalal we will continue to monitor here on Outside Source. Do stay with us. We've got lots more coming up on the programme in business news.